Hello everyone, my name is Bogdan Grozoiu. I'm a cloud solution architect with Microsoft and I'm specialized in the architecture side of things. With me today I have Danny Kruge. Hey Danny. Can you say a few words about your background?
Indeed, I'm now a mission critical engineer for Schuberg Philis.
Yeah.
Was a SQL DBA, but now, jack of all trades, changing, every day, but growing at the same time. The background being SQL DBA. Before that, just worked in a regular call center and grew to being a SQL DBA. With that, obviously times have changed, and becoming more of a DevOps engineer is where I'm at now, focusing on all different parts.
Okay. I have a question for you. Looking back, how much were you involved in pure Azure-related activities?
None. Completely none. This time last year was a project had started. But initially before that, there was talks of this project, and I was supposed to be involved, but I had too much work on doing an office migration, and there was an issue with the SQL queries coming to the on-prem server. They were trying to pull data from the on-prem server to Power BI to generate a report, but there was too much data. There was 60 gig of data they wanted for this report and 200 million rows. Wow. The SQL query was running for like 18 hours. And with that, it started to block some of the ETL processes. As me being the SQL DBA, or background of SQL DBA, is like, Danny, what's happening? I could see that there were these two queries are blocking each other. So I was like, okay, well, where's this one coming from? I could see it was a huge amount of data it was trying to pull back. And then, the project which was going into Azure and so on, the guys raised their hands saying, this is us. And it was like, okay, well, how can I help? And
what sort of architecture was selected for shipping all this data?
So what they wanted to do was actually use a Power BI data gateway. That was going to sit on an app server within the on-prem architecture. And that was just going to pull the data to a data set in Power BI. But it just ran for who knows how long it would have run for. We didn't let it run for that long. But we could tell that wasn't the right solution to go forward with.
In your opinion, was that a good architecture or?
No. No, unfortunately not. I think a few things were missed. So Schuberg actually took on the architectural design, and we completely redid it and made it what it is today, which is something quite spectacular.
Okay. So it means it's clear for me that you found a lot of room for improvement, and you started to work a lot on improving these modern ways of achieving the same ETL and business processes, but now using the specific cloud architecture. What did you learn to get there?
So actually, we were looking at ways of how we can move the data faster, because 18 hours was just incredibly slow. And the third party said, okay, if we use an Azure SQL database, we could actually generate the report faster. We can get the data. So we need you guys to get it to Azure SQL. I was like, okay, and that's the first input I had of Azure. It was like, okay, let's see what I can do. Which we started off with just a migration approach, which took around three hours. We used a migration data assistant that just shipped the whole thing from, say, left to right. It took around 3 hours. I was like, okay, well, there must be a faster way. During the time I was actually looking for solutions, a Synapse training came up, like a boot camp. And it was a 4-day boot camp. So I said to the team, okay, I think this is going to be beneficial. It looks like we can use some of these tools to ship data. I just set it up really quick alongside of the course. So I did the course. While I was doing the course, I used the components that we needed, which was more like data factory orientated. So I went with this Synapse solution, and we managed to ship the data within, say, 30 minutes from on-prem to Synapse. Already a huge improvement from the 18 hours. And if we jump to today's story, I can move that data within 11 minutes using Data Factory.
Okay. Wow. That's massive, right? From almost a day to...
and from this 4 days training course, and just then, okay, this seems a good solution. And Yeah, we're not exactly using Synapse today, but that was what I got my information from.
Yeah.
Now we're using Data Factory
Yeah.
and the other components, but it really led us down a good path.
Yeah. See, just having the right person at the right time, learning the right thing.
Yeah.
Look how much of an amazing progress.
Man, I loved it. You get to optimize it, performance, and just boom, it was flying well.
Is your customer happy with this solution?
Yeah, very much so. And this project is still has been ongoing. We built our part of moving the data from using Data Factory to Azure SQL, but the third party involved to do the report generation, they had struggles. It ended up running for 8 to 10 hours, and that's also way too long for this report to generate. So I was let loose on this Data Factory again for their side to help them out.
Okay.
And recently we got it down to 2 hours. So yeah, by breakfast time they could already have their report generated, which is marvelous for them. And they're really, really happy. And we've put a proof of value in place. So another project is on the, actually going ahead,
okay.
which is moving their whole data warehouse infrastructure to Synapse,
okay.
which is amazing. We're going to use all different Azure tools to do so.
Speaking about other Azure tools, during your learning journey and putting in place Data Factory and everything else, have you had the chance to touch any other tools or any other platforms to do that?
Yeah, definitely. We're using Azure DevOps, and everything that we've built is fully automated.
Okay.
So from dev, test, all the way up to production, click of a button, everything's fully automated, and I've helped now build that. It was built by a special man in the first place, and then I've now used what he's already built and just looked at how he built it to get like an idea, and I've been building my own stuff now. I've completely even rewritten some of the stuff he did.
Great. So is this a one-click stop-shop solution that you have at the moment, and you can replicate it and also give it to other customers and have a fast rollout of the same?
Yeah, definitely. For this rollout now, we did the rollout to production, took a matter of minutes of just rolling out all the code from dev test, and then we have the perfect example. We know exactly what's going to go into production, and it's all a click of a button. It's really, really amazing.
It's just unbelievable, right? So speaking about this learning and progressing through technology, what's your learning culture within Schuberg Philis? What do you do to share the same things, share your learnings with your colleagues? How do you?
We spend a lot of time because obviously it's been tough times recently, but we still make a lot of time to share our knowledge. It's very valuable because the stuff I've been doing, I go full speed ahead, and that means everyone else in the team is trying to catch up with what I've been doing. And I want to go on holiday. I want to be able to take a vacation. So we do a lot of knowledge sharing. Recently, I did a 3-hour workshop, but I really took my time just so they could understand every single step that I've been taking within Azure. So they can understand where each component is and what I've been working on, so they can also be incorporated. So now with the new project on the horizon, they're a lot more invested in that as well. And we spend a lot of times doing other knowledge sharing, and even Schuberg as a whole, not just the team that we're on for our customer. We do bi-weekly sessions just for Azure, which I'm now very vocal in, which is nice. I'm not just sitting there listening. I can actually, voice a lot of what I've been building, which is, we really keep talking to each other to keep it going. I think it's great if you want to have some holidays or everything. Your colleagues are already informed. They know what's going on. You have the Azure DevOps pipeline, keeping everything in the right shape in the cloud, right? Yep. Yeah, most definitely.
That's really, really great. I see this as a very nice story, but just for my own, do you have any certification goals, or are you trying to achieve a state of knowledge?
Yeah, certifications is definitely something I want to do. I haven't as yet because this whole year has just been absolutely crazy. But it's always like, it's something that you look at and you're like, oh, I want to do that, but then it's investing the time to do that. I'm still just on this huge learning path where I need to schedule some time for certifications, but I definitely like that because I feel like then I've actually got a sense of success, not maybe the right word, but I feel like then I've accomplished something.
Yeah,
I've actually got this sense of achievement.
Yeah,
probably the right word.
And now that you already know everything about your domain of expertise, right? I think it would be a pity not to go and get certified. You can become, for example, an Azure Data Engineer Associate, which is made, for example, out of two exams, fundamentals for Azure, and then another one specifically for data engineer. I would strongly recommend you go through those and check them out because you are already there, if not overpassing that.
That's good.
Looking forward, will you be involved in other Azure-related activities or projects, or are you thinking of improving your DBA skills that you had at the beginning?
No, everything's going full Azure, which it's just been out of my control, to be honest. It's this project has really led me down a path of Azure, but I love it. It's been a fast path, but being a knowledgeable member of the team. And the customer really wanted to go towards Azure now because with the project we've done, they've really seen the power we have to get everything going and built really fast, a whole new infrastructure. So now when the projects come up or ideas come up, they always pull me into meetings with the customer to go through it and say, okay, what are your timelines? What do you think, Danny? How do you think? Easy. Because sometimes they think it can be just a click of a button. They saw how we built things, but they don't know behind the scenes. So I have to say, okay, yeah, it might seem very easy, clickety-click, but we want to fully automate it, which also takes time. But yeah, I have been very vocal in these projects going forward and will be. I'm one of the main men, which is nice. I like that sense of responsibility.
I'm just curious, what's your preferred learning style or your method of learning? Is it like attending some trainings or reading all by yourself and then applying? What's your way of going?
It's definitely hands-on. If I am listening, I really have to be interactive at the same time. So if I'm watching something online or a training session, if they're just talking, I can't listen. My brain will be looking around. I'll be completely lose focus. But if it's really interactive, I can follow it very good, especially with like the Synapse training. You're talking, it's interactive, they'll ask you questions, and then you get to do hands-on approach, which for me was even better because I could then do a hands-on approach in the Microsoft setup, but then I had the project going alongside at the same time. I actually built it in my own side and doing it real use scenario. So that just happened to be the right time, sort of the approach, but really hands-on. It's always what I've known. It just sinks in perfectly.
Can you give us any tips on how to share this knowledge effectively in a remote or hybrid team? Because with all this COVID and this pandemic, it's not that easy, right, to attend trainings. Do you have any tips for your colleagues or for the whole world?
The way I like to work and the way the team has been working in Schuberg as a whole is that we just make sure we always schedule that time. So there's always something in the agenda, and that's team-wise and company-wise. Company-wise, we have the bi-weeklies, or we can set something up. So we have beers, bitterballing and brains, which you could showcase anything cool that you've been working on, which I definitely did for this data factory stuff. I presented, and we presented what we've been doing. Same within the team. As soon as I build something new, I say to the guys, I really want to show this to you. I'm really enthusiastic about it, and that wasn't how I used to be. I was really quite shy when I went through certain parts and didn't feel like I had the intelligence of the others. They spoke so well technically, but I realized, okay, I might not be the best technical speaker, but I really have a good knowledge of what I've been building, and they want to listen. And I've always followed a lot of blogs online, but I want to be like one of those guys. I want to be one of those cool guys blogging. So for me, you have to share the knowledge however you can and make time for it. It really makes a big difference.
Yeah, I see. I think everyone is passionate about the new, about what's coming up. Everyone wants to be ahead. So now I'm curious. What do you want to learn next? What's your next goal?
Ooh. Definitely for where we are going with the Synapse approach. I did the same course again recently because what I wanted to do, it sounds strange doing the same course twice, but I did that course and now I've learned so much, and we're pushing towards this infrastructure for the customer to use Synapse, I wanted to do the course again with the knowledge I already have to see what more I could learn, and then start using it hands-on to give myself a refresher as well.
Yeah.
But I think I just want to be able to use customer use cases and see how much more value I can bring to them the more I know through Azure, how much more I can automate, or other tools within Azure which I've not actually used yet, and be like, we can use that. We could actually, stuff which is actually a daily task or is an issue for the customer, we can use different approaches which is new and better. So.
Yeah. I think it's a great transformation for you. Not only that you've started with the initial networking, let's say workloads that you received in the past, and then you moved on to the DBA, and now you're going ahead with Azure Synapse Analytics, and now you're ready to create new projects for your end customers. I think this is really, really amazing.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a pleasure today. We had Danny Kruge with us from Schuberg Philis. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you.